Welcome to Cues on the Move. This week's podcast is a continuation of the fatherhood and mentoring programs conducted by chapters of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. My name is Stephen Grice. I am a fraternity brother and member of Tau Pi Chapter's Mentoring Initiative located in Columbia, Maryland. I will be your host for this segment of Cues on the Move. With me for this podcast are two of our senior high school students, Mr. Eddie Alexander and Isaiah Terry. Gentlemen, would each of you introduce yourselves to us and provide a little background information?
Hey guys, my name is Eddie Alexander. I'm 16 years old. I go to Oakland Mills High School. My favorite subject in school is history. I like history because I just like learning about where we came from, how we got here. I've been in the program for about 7 years now, and I enjoy it.
My name is Isaiah Terry. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior at Hammond High School, and my favorite subject so far is English. So far, the books we're reading right now are very interesting to me, so that just grabs onto me. And I've been in the Omega Psi Phi program for 8 years now.
Today's podcast will focus on Tau Pi's mentoring program from the mentee's perspective. As you may recall from last week's podcast, Tau Pi's mentoring program was started in 1994 at Guilford Elementary School in Columbia, Maryland. It was initiated in response to low academic test scores of Tau Pi's of a significant portion of African American male students. The purpose of Tau Pi's mentoring program was to reverse this observed trend. Our mentees are students ranging from 3rd grade through 12th grade. We have 28 mentees and 28 mentors in the program. Initially, we were just a program with grade school students, but over the years, many of our grade school students, once they graduated and moved on to high school, still wanted to maintain a link with the program. So we extended the program, and now we have a high school segment to our Tau Pi mentoring program. So the goals of our mentoring program are to improve the mentees' academic performance. That's key. We also want them to become disciplined men and display that discipline both in school and in life. We want to make sure we teach them the skills that are not necessarily taught in school, but necessary to be successful. Through these successes, we want to observe their having more self-esteem. And lastly, we want them to be capable and also willing to provide community service and uplift other students. Now, both of you have been in our mentoring program for over 7 years. It is a voluntary program. You don't have to participate. So why don't you tell us why you decided to stick with this program for the length of time that you have?
The reason why I have still continued to do this program is every year they constantly give something new and refreshing that drags me in, and they have turned me into the person I am now by helping me along this journey, and by always and constantly giving me just encouragement to do the best I can possibly can.
I was in 4th grade when I joined the program, and I'm now in the 11th grade, which is 7 years I've been in the program. I really enjoy it. Like Isaiah said, it's something refreshing. Every time we come back, we learn a new skill. We learn something else. We learn public speaking. We learn hygiene. We learn many different things. Omega Psi Phi has turned me into the young man I am today, and I really enjoy it because it just continued to help me with little things, especially in school. It's turned my grades around a lot, and I really like it.
That's great. And we're happy to be able to provide that kind of service to yourselves and other men in the community. Looking back at your years of participation in the program, which you've kind of already done that in part, let me ask you, out of the activities that you had an opportunity to be a part of, which ones do you think were the most helpful to you?
Learning how to play chess, Learning how to play chess may seem really small, but it taught me patience and it taught me strategy, and I really needed that. Also, learning how to tie a tie, I really enjoyed learning that because that's a skill that you need as a young man. I learned how to tie this tie. Yeah, it's helped me around with my school and my environment. It's just helped me, you know, have a different outlook on life.
Some activities that helped me improve my academics was like practicing math. Math isn't my like strong suit, so like they would like some Saturdays we would like dedicate a whole Saturday with like practicing your weaknesses in math, and there'd be like two to three no like one to two mentors like constantly helping me with like the areas where I struggled at.
Well, that's great. We want to do that. We want to make sure that we key on what we can key on to help you get stronger where you already are strong, and then where you may need some assistance, make sure we can provide that assistance. We want to be able to do that. So so let me just ask because I have to ask. Would you say that your grades, have improved throughout the years? Your school grades.
I'd say they have. When I first started out, my grades weren't the greatest, and Omega mentors told me the importance of my grades and the importance of school. They taught that to me. So I did take my grades more seriously, and I turned them around. And I can say today that I'm an honor roll student, and I'm going to continue to be one.
Yes, my grades have significantly turned around. During my freshman and sophomore year, they really weren't that strong, and like the Omega Sci-Fi program, they helped me and like gave me that self-esteem and like motivation to do better in school. Cause later down in the road, you would need that your good grades to like get into colleges and so on. So yes, yeah, yes, the Omega Sci-Fi program has helped me with my grades.
Okay, okay. The mentoring program, we want to see high school students obtain discipline both in academics and in life. Do you think you've become more disciplined in your ability to handle negative situations? Do you get as angry, or if you ever did get angry at things going on around you? Are you able to put it in perspective? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about discipline? How important is discipline to you?
So I never had like a anger thing going on, but like they helped me improve my discipline, like willing to do stuff at a certain time. For example, if you had like a project due next week, they helped me with the skill to like do it now. So wait till like last minute to do like a not so good project or yeah.
Like I said, was saying, they did help us with time. We did a specific activity called time management, and in that activity, we just basically talked about how we'd spend our days. And the mentors looked over the activity with us, and they told us we need to spend a lot more time studying and focusing. So that right there taught me discipline because they told me how much time I should be spending on the right things instead of the wrong things.
Time management. That's a facet of life that adults and high schoolers and grade schools really need to take a hold of. Let me ask you, what do you think was what time management, other than maybe spend a little bit more time on homework, what time management changes did you make? Where were you and where are you?
I used to spend most of my time watching TV, playing video games. Right now, I've stopped doing that. I'd give my focus to my schoolwork. That's my number one priority. Most of my time goes to my schoolwork, and other of my time goes to sports, but my schoolwork is number one.
At first, I used to sleep a lot, and by doing that time management sheet, I, put some of that sleep time to like, an hour instead of like the whole day. And I would like increase my study time because it used to be like 1 hour to two, but like that's really not enough time for you to like comprehend all the information you gather at school. So now it's increased to like 3 to 4 hours of all subjects.
Okay, okay, that's good. There are some activities because, as I said before, our program exists from like third grade through 12th grade, which is pretty wide age range, obviously. So some activities, the mentors, regardless of age, participate. For the most part, we break out the high school guys from the grade school guys because the high school guys' needs are obviously different. So I'd like you guys to maybe elaborate a little bit more on some of the programs that you were a part of in addition to time management, um, that that you want to bring to everyone's attention.
There were many programs we did, but particularly for the high school, we did SAT prep, we did ACT prep, and those sessions basically we're taught what's going to be on the SAT and ACT. We're taught how to handle those types of problems. We've also done, there's a HBCU tour that I'm going to be taking next year. It's one of the things we provide that the mentoring program pays for. Basically, you go on different HBCUs, you tour them, they teach you many different things, how it's like living on campus, things like that.
Not only did they help us with preparing for the SAT and ACT, they have also helped seniors with college applications and applying for scholarships and filling out the FAFSA form. So that's been so far really beneficial for me right now.
Okay, okay. Uh, and I'm glad to hear that it's been beneficial. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's move on. Um, so let me ask. Can you describe? Well, we already sort of did it. Describe some of the activities specific to high school students and what you learned from it. So let's just move on from that to provide some fun, because in addition to all the work that we have the guys do, we want to give them, you know, some fun, and yet, and at the same time, give another level of exposure. Field trips are included as part of the curriculum. I would like to know if you could expound on some of the field trips you've taken.
We have taken a camping trip at the end of the year. And basically we would go in the woods and just like camp for a few days. And that like camping trip has shown me like how to, put up a tent and like cook off of food. You wouldn't like have the, yeah, I remember.
A couple of the trips we took, we went to Six Flags, which I enjoyed, but my personal favorite trip was the Wizards game, and we got to sit courtside for a little bit and watch the players warm up, and we even got to meet some of the players. I enjoyed that tremendously. That's something I'll never forget. I really like that field trip.
Okay, okay. So, based on your academic performance, and Eddie, you mentioned that you're looking forward to taking a HBCU, Historical Black College University trip.
Yeah.
I can assume that each of you do intend to pursue college. Um, so let me ask you, what major are you thinking about going into? What have you done to prepare, and what do you think what do you think you'll do with your major once you accomplish it?
The major I want to go into is business management. Well, I want to be an entrepreneur, so I want to own my own business and manage it myself. The steps I've taken to ensure that is that I've looked up the college I want to go to. I looked up the college I want to go to, and I see what they required, what tests I need to take. They require a certain GPA, and I already have that right now. They require that you've taken SAT and ACT, so I require that too. Yeah, it's just everything that I need to know to be in the position I want to be. I've looked up already.
Same. I have the also like the same major that I would like to, as Eddie, that I would like to do, which is like business and management. I would like to take the income of a business and like sort the money out to like different areas where it's needed the most. The steps I've taken to like get to that position is in school I've taken classes that match what I would do in the business like my major basically. So yeah.
It's interesting that both of you mentioned business, because one of the guest speakers we had came to talk about entrepreneur. He himself was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can give us some enlightenment on that.
I remember the guest speaker was Jim Dixon. He gave a presentation about how to manage money, how to save money. He talked about accountants. The seminar just really helped me see what I'm going to be doing because I want to head into that field. So the seminar really helped me out and it increased my interest into the field.
Yes, adding on to what Eddie said, that whole experience like opened my eyes to like what that job position actually had to do, and yeah.
Maybe a semi more personal question. Uh, how do you feel your the skills you've acquired, through our program have helped you develop as a positive African American male?
Omega Sci-Fi taught me manhood, taught me uplift, taught me character. Before I used to not carry myself up to the standard that I should have carried myself up to, but Omega Sci-Fi, taught me how to be a real man, how to carry myself, how to walk properly, how to talk properly, how to shake a hand. It's just taught me skills as an African American man that I did lack.
What Omega Sci-Fi has taught me is like public speaking and also like carrying yourself as an African American man, like how to make eye contact and speak loud and clearly for like for your whole audience to like listen in and hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, those are really great things. Uh, let's talk a little bit about financial planning. Um, we we wanted to do some things to give you some enlightenment as to how to manage money, not so much as an entrepreneur, although obviously managing money as an entrepreneur is very important. We wanted to make sure that you guys would understand the value of saving and things along those lines. Um, and I want to believe that we had some level of being able to transfer information to you. Let me ask you, do you remember us reviewing financial planning? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Some things that they talked about was like when you get money, you don't always have to spend it immediately. Take some and put into different areas. Like if you got like $100, put like 50 into like your savings, give away 25, and like use the rest of it for like spending whatever you want to. But don't always spend your money immediately. Save some so it can grow.
Learning to save money. We did one project where you looked up the college you want to go to and the cost of it. So I realized that college isn't cheap. Everyone knows that. So Omega Mentoring told me at an early age that you would have to save for college. College is going to be expensive. So they just taught me how to save money properly. You put majority of your money into your savings and very little to your spending money.
Okay, okay. And we also discussed applying for scholarships, which either of you actually mentioned a little bit earlier. Um, One of the things that we wanted to emphasize was to go after the scholarships that are actually real scholarships versus some scholarships basically pretend to be scholarships that are really just an advertisement for whatever that particular entity is advertising. Um, but but let me ask you, have you actually looked at going through the process beyond what we were able to do in the mentoring sessions, or not? Maybe you haven't gotten to that point.
Actually,
yet.
I haven't had experience with that at all
You haven't
yet.
got to that yet.
Neither have I.
Okay, so, but hopefully we can work further along with you as you get to that point sometime next year.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let me ask this: what? Okay. I mentioned earlier about being a positive role model, and one of the events that we did in that regard was to have mentees go to the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you got out of that?
I enjoyed that trip a lot. That trip showed us many different paintings. In those paintings, though they didn't have words, they spoke a lot of words. Those paintings were really deep. I just enjoyed that whole museum. It brought me closer to my black culture, my black heritage. I really enjoyed doing things like that.
That field trip showed us like where we came from and like what our ancestors had to do to like bring us to where we are today, and like it was like a life changing event for me.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that we did was you were able to participate in in our Founders Day banquet. We've had some people come and guest speakers and the like. I'd like you to, if you can, to elaborate on that a little bit for us.
Okay. Founders Day, it's a nice little banquet we go to. We hear a lot of the people in Omega Psi Phi, a lot of the older gentlemen speak upon life and upon the program. It's just great to be there to hear that wisdom that they speak onto us, and they also talk to us a little bit about life and how we want to live our life, and I really enjoy it every year. It's just something new, and different people speak.
Adding on to what Eddie said, the one thing I get away from that is like the wisdom that they tell us about, and like how. Never mind.
Well, let me ask both of you. Would you recommended the Omega Mentoring Program to others, any of your friends, any of your peers?
Yes, I have recommended the program to my fellow peers, and they said that the program sounds amazing, but like I feel like they don't really take me seriously, and it's like, oh yeah, sounds like a nice program, but like I feel like they don't really understand like what the program does for you. So like hopefully I can one day tell them or like convince them to like maybe join the program.
I've told a lot of my peers about the program. The program has done many wonderful things for me and my family, and I'd like them to do that for others. Most of my friends do take interest in it, and they are trying to get in the program. My little brother's in the program, and ever since he's joined, he told me how much he's loved it. Every Saturday, he's excited to go to our sessions, and he just loves it.
Okay. One thing I alluded to early in the beginning was that one of the goals of the program is to teach you skills that you may not necessarily get in school. And to that end, we've had a career day where we've had a doctor come, we've had a police officer come and give everyone some good information. Like if you're pulled over, you're driving, you get pulled over.
Yeah.
You remember? Can you tell us about that?
I can remember career day when the police officer came in and talked to us. The police officer came in and talked to us. He talked to us from a police officer's perspective, so that if we are ever to get in that situation, we know how to handle ourselves and know how to carry ourselves. Police officer told us how a police officer addresses a scene, how he looks at a scene, so that now as young black males, we know how to properly deal with that situation, and that we aren't a threat or looked at as a threat to a police officer.
Okay. And now both of you gentlemen have expressed a desire to go into business management.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have, I said, we had a very good pediatrician come and speak to the mentors. I don't know if do you remember that? Recall anything from?
No, I don't think I do.
You don't think you were from?
No.
Okay. So so preparation for the SATs. That's critical because obviously the better you do on the SAT, it can potentially open doors for getting into a particular college, but also for getting a scholarship, academic scholarship. How's your preparation for the SATs improved?
So far since that session, they have told us to like take practice tests to like see where you're at, and then based off those practice tests, you could like work on your weaknesses.
Okay.
Those practice tests, they show us realistic problems to the SAT, and they show us how to break it down, how to properly go through the problem, and how to use our time wisely, because you don't have all day on the SAT. It is timed. It just basically teaches us how to, really assess a situation taking a test.
Okay. One of the things that's very important is knowing how the news, knowing how the media affects the world, affects the way people what people see and what people hear. And one of the trips that we took a while back was to the Newseum in Washington D.C. I don't know, were either of you on that trip? Maybe I should.
I was
Yeah,
I was
I
not.
remember that trip. I
You
enjoyed
remember
that
that
trip. We got to look at a lot of. We got to look at a lot of things. I really enjoyed that trip. That was a while back though.
That was a while back.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't go on that one.
I mean, they had part of 9/11.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. They
you
had
remember
they
that?
had part of the 9/11 building there. That field trip was really nice. I really liked that field trip. I liked all our trips actually.
Okay. Okay. So so let me so it's great to hear that you both of you decided to recommend the program. Just the fact that you've been in the program for such a long time goes for your perseverance. You're willing to stick it out and stay with it. And I really want to emphasize to everyone that this is a voluntary program. There's nothing forcing either of these young men to stick with this program for this length of time. And so I really want to just take a minute to just ask you to basically just elaborate overall, given that the time we've been here, as to re-emphasize to us why you stuck it out for so long.
I stuck it out for so long because I saw potential in myself to grow and to be a better person, and the program has helped me do that. Also, with my education, they provided so many different opportunities for me. It's crazy. They've even helped me, you know, potentially get into the college that I want to get to. They helped me learn how to fill out applications properly. They helped me with SAT prep, ACT prep. Those are things you won't just find anywhere. They've just helped me a lot throughout life, and I really appreciate it.
They have so far. They have helped me like come to understand my true potential. Because at first I wasn't at the spot I could the highest spot I could possibly be in. And this program has each year they have helped me and it boost that motivation and just help me do the best that I could possibly be. And as Eddie said, they have blessed us both with wonderful opportunities.
Well, I had a question for you since you're asking us all these questions. Question I had was, what do you enjoy most about being a mentor since you've been part of the mentoring program for a long time?
What I enjoy in mentoring and in life is basically success. I like seeing a happy client. And I look at you gentlemen and the other mentees as a client. What do I need to do to improve that client? There's a difference between selling someone a product and selling someone from a marketing perspective. So what we have to do is what I feel is most important for any mentor is to set a good example, first and foremost. And if you can do that, and you can see value derived from it, that's really worth it because and I'm glad you asked that question because it does obviously take time from me and other mentors to participate in the program. But there's so many kids who are not getting these particular skill sets, and although I'm a mentor, I also learn from the other mentors, and sometimes from the mentees as well. So I won't go so far to say it's a two-way street, but I will go so far to say that it's beneficial to me and not just for me. Or however you want to phrase, however that should be phrased. So that's my my short answer. So let me just let us conclude basically by asking everyone to please watch our next program. What we're going to do next is we're going to have the parents of some of the mentees come forward and give you their viewpoint so that you can obviously get their perspective. And we want them to obviously share their experiences of our program because although they're the parents, they are required to show up a few times a year so that we can go over grades, discipline, give out awards, thus and so. So I just want to end with this lasting note. Just remember, our phrase is, "It takes a village to raise a child," and we all must do our part. So the mentors of Omega Psi Phi fraternity are trying to do our part. We're doing everything we can to reach out to as many students as we can, and that's where we are. So I want to thank you for taking the time to view this broadcast. Have a good night.